Metrolinx providing an update this morning on the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. Nick Westoll was there. Nick, who is, by the way, decked out in all the safety gear right now. Work began on this station in 2011. Are we any closer to seeing it open?
That's a great question. You know what? Yes. We just did a tour of Yonge Station, and it's substantially done. Like, you walk around here, the elevators are working, you can get down to the platform level. Now, something to know about this station here, this is one of the biggest ones of the entire Line 5 Eglinton Crosstown. It goes 20 meters below ground and it stretches 250 meters. So that's a quarter of a kilometer. Now, half of this is mostly back-end stuff. These are things no one is ever going to see to keep this station and this line running. But we are speaking with Metrolinx officials. Construction, like I said, most of it is around this area, and people who live around Yonge and Eglinton, they will of course know there are still a number of lane restrictions here, but there is some good news for people who have to travel through this corridor. Staff with Crosslinks, they're the private sector consortium building this line. They say it should be open by January, fingers crossed. But that's something we've heard before. There's been shifting dates. So yes, we are going to see the light of the tunnel. Now, as for when the actual line will open, that's still a bit of a lingering question.
All the way from Kennedy in the east to Mount Dennis in the west, the road construction and the sidewalk construction is essentially complete. And that's a huge fill-up for all the residents and the businesses in the area. So our focus is the last 400 meters that you see behind me. We've challenged ourselves to get the majority of the road construction itself complete by the end of this year.
So Nick, am I to understand that there is still no firm date, though, when people could finally get on this thing?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. This is becoming sort of a regular thing of trying to ask, when are we going to get some answers in terms of the opening? So Phil Verster spoke moments ago. We had a chance to speak with him. He said that the date for the opening won't be released until 3 months before the public can begin riding. The reason why? Well, that's because various deficiencies keep popping up, and as crews are fixing things, they're sort of finding new things to do. But crews here say they have made progress in one particular area that was holding things up, and that's the signaling system. That allows trains to run up and down the line in a regular frequency. They say there have been some software fixes on that, but again, we are no closer to find out that actual opening date. We even asked, can you rule out some dates? And Phil Verster wouldn't do that. But during the tour, we did hear something interesting in that for the final phase of correcting track defects, they need a few months of warm, dry weather. So the earliest we can deduce from that is that it will likely be summer at the very earliest.
Man, I appreciate that the media is getting creative with how they're asking questions to try to firm that date down. But still, more than a decade in the making, no sign yet on when we could finally get on board. Thanks for that, Nick Westoll, giving us an update on the Eglinton Crosstown LRT. Still be patient, right?
Absolutely.